All right, so today we're going to help get you ready for your Roughneck interview. We're going to really dive deep into what this role's all about and give you the tools to nail it. We're going to be using RoleCatcher's career and interview guides for Roughnecks. They're kind of like those treasure maps you see in the movies, packed with insights and strategies.
They're like a cheat sheet.
Exactly. You know, these guides, they really give you that insider's perspective.
Yeah.
Not just what the job's all about, but what the interviewers are going to be looking for, too.
So before we even get to those interview questions, let's break down what a roughneck actually does, more than just muscle, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got to be strong, no doubt. But it's also about precision, attention to detail, and safety. Always safety. Think about it. You're connecting these massive drill pipes, putting together and taking apart all this complex equipment, collecting core samples, keeping the whole drilling floor in top shape. It's a lot. So strength's important, but you also need those technical skills and that laser focus even when things get hectic. And looking at this career guide, it seems like that focus on safety and doing things right, that's something that's stressed throughout a Roughneck's whole career, from entry level all the way up to those senior positions.
Exactly. And that's something you really want to highlight when you're in that interview. Which brings us to those interview questions. This is where RoleCatcher's guide really shines. It helps you understand why they're asking what they're asking. It's not just about getting to know you. It's about seeing if you've got what it takes for this demanding job where safety is everything.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. First question, what inspired you to become a Roughneck? Seems pretty simple, but what are they really getting at here?
They want to see that fire in you, that genuine passion, not just someone chasing a paycheck. They want to know you've thought about this, you get the challenges and the rewards, that you're actually excited about the work.
So don't just say, oh, I like working outdoors, or the money's good.
Right. Think about what really drew you to this. Is it working with these huge machines? The teamwork out on the rig? Being part of something that literally powers the world?
And maybe even sprinkle in some of what you learned from the career guide. Show them you've done your homework and you understand how a Roughneck's career can grow.
Exactly. You could say something like, I've always loved working with my hands and the idea of learning from experienced people. Reading about the career path in the RoleCatcher guide really got me hooked. I'm excited about starting as a floor hand and maybe working my way up to a leadership role one day.
Now that's smart. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you fine-tune your answers to match each specific job description. It analyzes those keywords they use and suggests ways to weave them into your responses.
That's a game changer, especially if you're new to the industry and not sure how to really present yourself.
Okay, next question. What are your key skills that make you a good fit for this position? This feels like your time to shine. Show them what you've got.
It is. But remember, they're looking for skills that really matter for this job. So think about those core strengths: physical strength and stamina, teamwork, problem solving, a strong work ethic, attention to detail, and that unwavering commitment to safety we talked about.
So ditch those generic answers like communication and leadership and really tailor it to what they need on a rig.
Right on. You could say something like, I'm in good shape and I'm not afraid of hard work. I've got a track record of working well on teams and I'm a quick learner. I understand that safety comes first and I'm always up for learning new things.
And I bet those skills come in handy when things get tough. Which leads us to our next question. How do you handle challenging situations in the workplace? This one seems designed to see how you react under pressure.
You got it. On an oil rig, things can change fast. They need to know you can think clearly, stay calm, and make smart decisions even when things are intense. They're also looking for someone who can work with the team to get things back on track.
So how do we answer this in a way that really shows them what we're capable of?
Be specific. Give them a real example. Don't just say, I stay calm under pressure. Tell them about a time you faced a challenge, what you did, and how it worked out. For example, you could say, in my last job, we had a situation where describe the challenge. I jumped right in and describe your actions, focusing on safety and teamwork, and in the end, describe the positive outcome.
Perfect. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can help you here too. You can plug in your practice answers, and it gives you feedback on how to make them even better.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket, helping you polish those answers and present yourself like a pro. Now let's get a little more technical. What is your experience with drilling equipment and machinery? This is where you get to show off what you know.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about using a wrench. We need specifics.
Exactly. Tell them about the types of equipment you've worked with. Maybe it's handling drill pipes, operating a top drive system, or even troubleshooting those mud pumps. And don't forget to mention any certifications or training you have that are relevant.
And if you're just starting out, be honest. Don't try to oversell yourself. Instead, focus on how eager you are to learn and how quickly you can pick up new skills.
Right. You could say something like, I don't have a ton of experience with specific equipment yet, but I'm a fast learner and I'm excited to get that hands-on experience working with the pros.
And RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful here too. It can analyze the job description and highlight the skills and experience that really stand out.
Exactly. You can tailor your answer to match what they're looking for.
Okay, now let's talk about safety. This is a big one. What safety protocols do you follow when working on a rig? You gotta nail this one. It's all about proving you get it, that safety is non-negotiable out there.
Absolutely. They want to see that, those safety procedures inside and out and that you're all about keeping everyone safe, you and your team.
So it's not just about wearing your hard hat and safety glasses. Give them specific examples of safety protocols you've actually followed. Maybe it's pre-shift inspections, reporting hazards, or even how you'd handle an emergency.
Right. You could say, I always do a thorough check of my equipment before every shift, making sure everything's in good shape. I'm always wearing my PPE, and I follow lockout, tagout procedures to the letter whenever I'm working on machinery.
Now, this next one might throw some people off. How do you keep up with changes in technology and industry regulations? It doesn't scream roughneck, but it's important.
What they're really getting at here is your commitment to learning. This industry's always changing new techniques, new regulations, new technology. They want to see that you're proactive about staying in the loop and adapting.
So how do we show them that we're not stuck in the past?
Mention those industry publications you read, the training courses you take, any online resources or professional organizations you follow. You could say something like, I'm always reading trade journals, like name a publication, and I go to industry conferences to stay up to date. I'm also working on getting certified and mention relevant areas to keep my skills sharp.
And that ties right back into those career advancement opportunities we talked about. You're showing them that you're ambitious, that you want to keep growing and taking on more responsibility.
Exactly. You're invested in this for the long haul.
Okay, let's tackle this one. What strategies do you use to motivate your team? Now, Roughneck isn't always in a formal leadership role, but
teamwork is everything on an oil rig. They want to know you can communicate work together and create a positive environment. Even if you're not the boss, being a good team player is crucial.
So instead of talking about delegating tasks or performance reviews, focus on those interpersonal skills.
Right. Highlight your ability to build relationships. Listen, offer support and handle conflict in a positive way. Maybe talk about a time you helped a teammate who was struggling, or when you went above and beyond to make sure the team met a deadline.
Here's another classic. How do you manage your time effectively? Seems pretty standard, but how does it apply to a roughneck specifically?
Out on a rig, time management is about way more than just meeting deadlines. It's about safety efficiency, making sure things run smoothly. They want to know you can prioritize, stay organized, and handle multiple things at once, even under pressure.
So it's not just about making a to-do list.
No, it's about understanding the big picture and knowing which tasks are the most important. Talk about your ability to plan ahead, anticipate problems, and adapt to change. You could say something like, on a rig, every minute matters. I prioritize tasks based on safety and what needs to get done. And I'm always communicating with my team to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay, now for a question that might get a little technical, what is your experience with hydraulic fracturing?
This one really depends on the job, but it's becoming more and more common in the industry. Hydraulic fracturing or fracking is a way to extract oil and gas from shale rock.
So even if you haven't worked on a fracking crew, you need to show them you at least understand the basics.
Yeah. If you have experience, talk about the equipment and techniques you've used. If not, just explain your general understanding of the process and your willingness to learn. You could say, I haven't worked on fracking operations directly, but I know the basic principles, and I'm definitely eager to learn more about this important part of the industry.
Let's wrap up this section with one more question. How do you ensure that equipment and machinery are properly maintained? Sounds like they're looking for someone who takes responsibility and knows that preventative maintenance is key.
Exactly. Keeping that equipment in top shape is crucial for safety, efficiency, everything. They want to know you understand that regular inspections, preventative maintenance, and following the right procedures are non-negotiable.
So talk about your experience doing those pre-shift checks, logging maintenance activities, maybe even troubleshooting minor repairs or following manufacturer guidelines for the more complex stuff.
Right. You could say, I'm really thorough when I do my pre-shift checks, looking for any signs of wear and tear or potential problems. I also make sure to log all maintenance activities and follow procedures for repairs. And if you have any special training or certifications for equipment maintenance, this is the time to mention them.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about all kinds of interview questions. What's the main takeaway for our listeners who are getting ready for their Roughneck interview? I'm thinking it all comes down to preparation. Knowing the job inside out, anticipating those questions, and showing them you've got the skills and experience they're looking for.
Exactly. But there's more to it than just ace in the interview. You got to have that passion, that drive to keep learning, that commitment to safety, and being a great teammate. And that's where those insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide really come into play.
So let's dig into that career path. The guide lays out a pretty clear progression for Roughnecks, right?
It does. It's like a journey that starts with you assisting the more experienced roughnecks on the drilling floor. You're learning the ropes, mastering those basic tasks like making connections, assembling equipment, collecting samples. And as you gain experience, you move up to a junior roughneck role with more responsibility.
And eventually you can work your way up to a senior Roughneck.
Exactly. At that level, you're leading the team, analyzing core samples, overseeing maintenance. You've become the expert on the drilling floor.
So even if you're applying for an entry-level position, it's smart to show them you understand this whole career path and that you're excited about those opportunities for growth. It shows you're not just looking for a job, you're building a career.
Absolutely. And speaking of building a career, let's talk more about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you every step of the way.
We've talked about how it helps with resumes and applications, but what about interview prep?
This is where it really gets cool. RoleCatcher's AI can actually look at those common interview questions and give you feedback on your answers. It helps you find areas where you can improve.
So it's like having a practice session with an expert before you go into the real interview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It helps you fine-tune what you're going to say, sound more confident, and make a really strong impression.
So we've covered a lot today. The roughneck role, those tough interview questions, and how RoleCatcher can give you a real advantage. Any final words of advice for our listeners who are about to head into that interview room?
Remember, hard work, dedication, a willingness to learn, those are the things they value most in this industry. Show them you've got what it takes. Not just the skills and experience, but the right attitude and that passion we talked about.
Great advice. And one last thing, don't underestimate the power of networking. Go to industry events, connect with people online. Those connections can open doors you never even knew existed. Good luck out there, and let us know how it goes.